Good morning, Steel Nation. Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day. Want to say thank you to the men and women who serve our country, those that are currently serving or have served in the past, and especially those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, as that is why this day is in place. Thank you. Today, we're answering and asking, is there really a quarterback competition with the Pittsburgh Steelers? I'm Daniel J. This is State of the Steelers, and welcome to the Huddle. So, as many times as we've asked before, on this show, and as has been brought up about the quarterback position, we're going to dive deep into it. It was stated often and early and often throughout the offseason that we were going to have a open competition at the quarterback position. And I want to look at the evidence and kind of see if that's really the case, or have the Steelers made up their mind. And so the first thing I want to look at is the rotation and the default rotation in the quarterback positioning. It has been reported that all throughout phase three, week one of OTAs, that Mason Rudolph was second in the rotation, and that it was Mitch Trubisky who was first, and Kenny Picket was third. From what I understand and from all reports, that is how the entire OTAs went and never deviated from there. Apparently, first day of OTAs, and this is coming from Jim Wexell of Steel City Insider podcast. Jim, he's a guy that, and shout out to you, hopefully you're watching. He's a guy that gets to watch OTAs off the sideline and gets to view and watch what they're doing. And he made an interesting comment. He stated that in the second day of OTAs, instead of Mason and Mitch, swapping in and out in the first, Mason actually started swapping out with Kenny, going backwards. And so that's not a good look for him. That kind of leads me to believe, or thinks that, Mitch is really going to be that starting QB. The next piece of evidence that I like to look at is the fact that from the same podcast, Jim Wexell kind of echoed what Arthur Moat stated. Now, Arthur Moat is also a person who is from the Steelers Nation Radio, SNR. He is another person who is allowed to be present at OTAs and watch, what's going on the field. And he stated, and both these guys stated, that Mitch was a little bit faster than both Kenny and Mason Rudolph when it came to processing the defense, when it came to reading and being at the right read. Arthur Moat stated earlier that it was as if, especially when it was a play action pass, when the quarterback's back was facing the defense, that when the quarterback turned around and looked for that first read, that Mitch was probably about a half second faster than Mason was in those reads. It's kind of, Jim kind of said the same thing, that Mitch is faster at processing and reading, and rightfully so. And he says, that Mitch should be faster because he's a former Pro Bowler. He's had a lot more experience as a starting quarterback in this league. He's got more snaps underneath of him. However, Mason has more time in this offense. He should have had a leg up, knowing the offense and also having the chemistry of the receivers that were present. Mainly Pat Fryermuth, Gentry, and Chase, as Deontay Johnson was a no-show in OTAs. And so both of those guys kind of saying that, one, Mitch Trubisky was the first guy in rotation the entire week, and two, Mason switching back and forth with Kenny, leads me to believe that those two things are going to be the first thing that indicates that, all right, Mitch is our guy. The last piece of evidence that I want to talk about is what Kevin Dotson said. Now, and this, I'm quoting him. He stated they pretty much said Mitch was number one. And then when he was asked who said it, he said the team, before he said, I'm saying it, before he took responsibility for the quote. Now, before he said that, I think he just got caught up. They're not trying to hide anything. These are players. These guys aren't into like trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Being conspiratorial or play games or anything like that. They're asked the question, hey, who's the starting guy? They're going to answer it. And so they answered it. He may have thought, "Oh snap, I shouldn't have said anything." And when asked who said it, and when he was questioned about his comment, and he started to take responsibility and say, "Oh no, no, I said it." But initially, his answer was, "They've pretty much said it," and they, being the team, is who said that Mitch was going to be number one. So this is going to be his job to lose. Um, Mason, it seems from based on what the sports journalists that are allowed to watch the OTAs are stating out there and saying, it appears that Mitch is winning this competition. I put in air quotes, and that Mason is probably going to lose out. I'm a fan of Mason. I actually have his jersey. That's why I wore it today. I thought he was going to be pretty good. When he came in the league, when he came in 2019 after Ben, hurt his arm, I thought he may have had a chance, to be that guy. And when he got knocked out by Earl Thomas, I think that kind of changed his path a little bit. Now he hasn't had the most opportunities in the world. He's only played, I believe, or he's only started in like 10 or 11 games. And in those games, I think he's been I think there was three of them where he didn't finish the game due to either injury or being benched. And so he's got a winning record. I mean, you take that one Browns game away from him, I think it drops down his turnovers or his interceptions to 4, something like that, 4 or 5, with like 15 touchdowns, 12, 10 touchdowns, something of that nature. He's not a guy that's going to, win a lot of games, but, early on before he took that hit from Earl Thomas and the Ravens, I thought he had flashes. After that, and then after he got hit, I think he tried to come back a little bit too quick. Duck came in, Duck won the game against the Chargers, and in prime time. And I think Mason saw that, like, hey, I need to come back. And I think he came back a little bit too early. And I think he was a little shell shocked. I saw him play live. One of the things that I've said in a previous show was that, I saw him play in the 2019 season against Miami. And one thing that I saw from him and was that his reads he was a little bit slow. Like, he was finding the right place. He was going to the right person. However, it was like half a second behind. And I always said, if the game could just slow down a half second for him, he'd be really good. But Arthur Moats kind of said and led that he's about a half second behind. It's been a few years since 2019. And if he's still a half second behind, to a quarterback that this is his new team, regardless of the accolades, regardless of the stats or whatever he's done, Mitch Trubisky, this is his first year and first opportunity with this team, and he's still half a second behind. That's not good. I wish him the best. And if he ends up, going into training camp and if once they put the pads, that half second diminishes because people are coming at you, and Mitch can't make those processes as fast because now the bullets are coming. Well, then at that point, if Mason can prove that he can be that half second faster, maybe he can turn it around and show us something. I don't think Kenny Pickett's going to be thrown into the flames or into the wolves right away. I don't think he's going to be the starter regardless of anything outside of injury. And so, I think that his earliest probably opportunity might be after that mini bye after week 3, when we go to Cleveland and play on a Thursday night. I think that might be his first opportunity. But outside of that, maybe the bye week, I don't think Kenny's going to play this first year. And I think they're going to give it to Mitch. And this is just my opinion. I think it's going to be Mitch. I think Kenny's going to be a backup. I think that Mason may not make the 53 some way or somehow, whether he's traded or cut. I'm not sure he makes the team. But that's my take, guys. I'm Daniel. If you have any questions or comments for the show, please leave them in the comment section. Please hit that notification and like button. Don't forget, we're giving away 2 tickets to the Jets game on October 2nd. The only thing you have to do to enter into the contest is to be a subscriber. You have multiple ways to enter. There's 3 ways you can enter: be a subscriber on YouTube, be a follower on Facebook, and a follower on Twitter. Our Twitter is State of Steelers, or @State of Steelers. Our Facebook is State of the Steelers, and our YouTube is State of the Steelers. just hit follow, like, or subscribe. And then what you're going to want to do is, well, what's going to happen is this contest is going to go on from now until the end of June. And on July 4th, we're going to go live and announce the winner live. You must be present on the live to win. And so you're going to want to hit that notification bell so that way you're notified not only of that contest, but of all our daily segments that we do and of our weekly lives. We want to grow this community. We want to have some engagement and more engagement on our live. So please share this with your Steeler friends and family. And with that being said, guys, peace.